right. Welcome to the Patriot Hour for Sunday, January 12th, 2019. All right, folks, lots going on. Again, if you're new to the Patriot Hour, make sure you're subscribed. Take a minute to look down below. Check the, maybe hit the bell, check the toggle the switches, and look at all that. There's so many different updates, and YouTube changes things all the time. Getting constant messages from you guys. I'm unsubscribed. I'm not getting alerts. I had a buddy over here months ago that 2 days after I put out a video, he just got an alert right in front of me. It was like his phone was close enough, and who knows, but he's like, look, and it was literally 2 days late. And I was like, that was not new. So things happen. All right. I can contest to that with lots of emails and personal, seeing it with my own eyes. So again, here at the Patriot Hour, never take our word to be 100% truth or word. Do your own research, come to your own conclusions, connect your own dots, listen to everybody you want, read everything you can. Believe none of it. Believe none of it until you can verify it, okay? All right, we do have Friday, the FBI appeared in front of the FISA court judges, all right, the ones that they screwed over couple years back and several times over again with information, withholding, lying. So the FBI finally apologizes in the FISA courts on Friday. So they apologized to the court for botching surveillance of Trump advisor. This is more so right now to do with like Carter Page, but we know they didn't find anything on Flynn or Papadopoulos. Now they might have found some other things that they ended up going with on them, or like, lying and stuff like that. So in a rare public filing, the Bureau said it would extend wiretap changes to other tools for collecting data on suspected spies and terrorists. So the FBI acknowledged serious errors and omissions in the facts it put forward for wiretapping applications targeting a former Trump campaign advisor. So Washington, chastened FBI. No, we're not going to read this article because it wants us to register, and I probably used up. Now you just got to clear your history. Always get around that paywall. You get like 3 free reads or something. So FBI apologizes to the court for the mishandling of surveillance of Trump campaign. So the FBI apologized to the secret court that handles the national security investigations for the way it conducted surveillance of former Trump campaign advisor during the 2016 election, according to a court filing made public on Saturday. FBI Director Christopher Wray outlined steps the Bureau is taking to ensure it doesn't make the same mistakes again. He wrote in the filing to the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court that the FBI will tighten procedures governing wiretapping applications of the court, which oversees intelligence gathering under the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, FISA. Now, the FBI comes after a report last month from the Justice Department Inspector General that revealed serious issues with the Bureau's applications to the court to wiretap former Trump campaign advisor Carter Page. The FBI suspected Page had possible ties to Russia. They didn't suspect that. They knew that he worked for the CIA, and they ignored it. Even before 2016, and they suspected he worked for Russia back in 2013. Back in 2013, the FBI took him to court. They didn't press any charges because it came out that he worked for the CIA then. The same Russia story they're trying to use in 16 was the same one in 13 that they already went to court and found out that he worked for the CIA. He was a source, 20-year retired Navy, and then 13 years with the CIA being a source. Now in 2013, when he was doing something on his own, looking, wanting to get into commodities to the energy game over in Russia, he went to a convention, if you would say, up in New York on his own behalf, got confronted by a Russian, hadn't done any contract work for the CIA in about 9 months. He then gets a hold of the CIA after getting confronted by this Russian at an off day on his own behalf at an energy convention in New York. Lots of people there. Russian confronts him, says some things. Carter Page leaves, gets a hold of his former people he worked for by whatever means or methods that he has. And then they let's start working again, Carter. Keep talking to the guy. Keep in touch. Call the number that he gave you. You're back in. And he did. He was working. He went to work. And then the FBI picks up on the Russia. Great. They're doing their job. They get the Russia. They pick up on the Russian. Then they see that there's a civilian Carter Page guy. They start messing around with him and then pull them all into court. And I don't know why it took so long for him to come out under, whatever work that he does. Maybe he's that deep, Carter Page, to not tell them right away. I don't know. I don't know the extent. Some of these things we don't get. We can only assume. All I know is this guy's been through the FBI's harassment in 2013. They didn't charge him, and now this. And they didn't charge him again. And you can't just say sorry when you knew it. Your own paperwork would have told you. Now, they've always blamed interagencies not talking. Now, this time we know they talked, and it doesn't matter because you go back to your own 2013 FBI paperwork for a court case, and you see your results. Why didn't he get charged? Because you found out something then. All right. So Christopher Wray, he outlines the steps that the Bureau is now going to take. He wrote in the filing to the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court that the FBI will tighten procedures governing wiretapping applications of the court, which oversees intelligence gathering under the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. Right? These are the secret courts, folks. You are not represented when they come after you if they suspect you. The FBI response comes after a report last month from the Justice Department Inspector General that revealed serious issues with the Bureau's application to the foreign court to wiretap former Trump campaign advisor Carter Page. The FBI suspected Page had possible ties to Russia. Now, that report prompted the court to take to the highly unusual step of publicly rebuking the FBI and ordering the Bureau to revalidate its work. The FBI has the utmost respect for this court and deeply regrets that the errors and omissions identified by the Office of the Inspector General. Wray wrote in the filing, calling the FBI's conduct in relation to Page surveillance unacceptable and unrepresentative of the FBI as an institution. Now, this seems to be quite the opposite of what Corney says and has been going around saying for 2 years to all the media sites. Unbelievable. And you can't just apologize. Who's going to go to jail? And when? These are the questions. The FBI has the utmost respect for the court and deeply regrets the errors and omissions identified. And it's not like just the spellings of stuff that we saw, those errors and stuff, apologizing for the errors of the spellings. I'm sorry that the FBI did 17 errors and omissions that all stacked up and fell down like dominoes to get us what we wanted, which was a spy. We're sorry, we'll never do it again. That's what he should be saying. Now, this guy wasn't there at the time, right? Not for any of the signings. This was all Comey and Rosenstein or something. I think he signed the last one. So Wray wrote in the filing calling the FBI's conduct in relation to the Page surveillance unacceptable. The FBI is committed to working with the court and the DOJ to ensure the accuracy and completeness of FISA process, he wrote. More than 40 corrective actions has been ordered, including 12 specifically related to the surveillance application process, according to the filing. The actions include the development of new training to reemphasize the importance of accuracy and thoroughness in all FISA applications, as well as increased oversight of the application process. So under FISA, the government must prove to a judge that surveillance of an American is justified because it suspects that person of being a foreign agent. Since defense lawyers never see the court filing, the Justice Department must accurately report every detail related to the request for surveillance. I mean, you have to take this heavy, right? Surveillance of an American is justified because it suspects that person of being a foreign agent. I should have made this bigger for you guys. All right. And you know that they knew that not to be true with Carter because of their own court case. So they think, well, we're a big agency. We horned in on this Carter. Nobody around at this point knew about that in 2013. And what, you pump his name in the system? It just doesn't connect to the worldwide FBI data bank and pulls up stuff on Carter Page. I mean, come on. You'd think there'd be a folder there that might at least be locked up and the agent can't get in, but he gets the proper request, and they do. They look at stuff. But you all right, that all failed. Then you get this lawyer guy. So your own 2013 lawsuit court case against the Russian and Carter Page never comes up somehow. But then you fast forward to 2016, he's working with the Russians again for a second time. And this lawyer gets a hold of the CIA. Email. Hey, does he work for you? The CIA guy writes back, we highly suggest you look at your own paperwork from a 2013 case, the one I've been referring to. But again, yes, he does. So, I mean, they even tell him again. And then that's when the guy omits that or puts a thing at the bottom. No, we have no proof. He does. Again, they didn't want to use it. I mean, so it's like there was many of times for that. And this is one person, one little thing out of the whole big picture. But you see how they're working it. Unbelievable, folks. Unbelievable. So they have to, we're gonna make sure we got our ducks in a row next time. He's basically telling the courts. Now, the Inspector General report said the FBI investigators failed to inform the Justice Department of crucial information when seeking permission to wiretap Page. Like, for example, their whole theory that he was working with the Russians. And it's kind of like he was working with the Russians, but, not the way they wanted him to be. And they just held back a little bit of information. And then if this comes out in the future, we'll say, sorry. Unbelievable. Much of the information was inconsistent with or undercut the assertions contained in the FISA applications that were used to support probable cause and in some instances resulted in inaccurate information being included in the applications. Page was never charged with a crime. Second time, folks. Second time. FBI came up on him. Didn't like it the first time that, we thought we had something. You almost think back in 2013 they got mad. It's like, ugh, working for another intel agency. Darn it, we really thought we had something. And then they're going to do it again in 2016. I mean, either they're that. It's like they're, either incompetent or they're doing it on purpose. And either way sucks for our country. Sucks for us, sucks for the FBI, sucks for just the integrity. Comey destroyed it worse than Hoover. Oh, James Edgar. Comey tainted it big time. History book stuff. Unbelievable. All right, we're going to shut this one down. We got enough information out here. This came out Friday. Expect more. Anyone else in the world did this? Flip the situation around, folks. Unbelievable. They were able to control the way it comes out, how they talk about it, how bombshells come out right on the TV, but everyone ignores it together. And then 2 days later, it's like, oh my gosh, I mean, this was said, and It's like all delayed. It's all delayed. They're able to make it not a bombshell and just act like, man, it's not a big deal. People, 17 errors, a bunch of people lied, and it resulted in some spying, whatever. It's 2016. Let's get over it now. But 2 days ago, they weren't done with their investigations yet, and they weren't over it. Then they didn't accept it. And then stuff like this comes out, and then it's all old news now. It's just unbelievable circus act, right? We're all kind of, when does it end? When I'm with everyone else, we want to see the end result here. I know there's some huge things coming. There's been a lot of talk about the Hoobers, and I think this guy's a scam as well until I see some result. We have to have a little bit of faith in Horowitz now and Barr, or Durham, not Horowitz, but Durham. Horowitz has been a letdown, but we see his role wasn't much. Of course, he's the head of the FBI. He's going to try to damage control for his agency that he took over now. We get that. We understand that role. The internal investigations that he did. It's talking to the people at their desk, not in a criminal environment. They're not in the hot seat in the interrogation room. He comes into their office. So what happened on the day of, do you have one of those mints? And he's like, yes, I do. And, it's that. He takes their word for what it is, and then he talks to the guy in the other office. If it doesn't add up, he can write that in, like, well, I got conflicting. He said he sent this. This guy over here said when he got it, it was missing this. The other guy says no, so something happened in between. But neither of them seem to be lying on purpose. It looks like an accident or an error happened. I mean, that's what he's there to do. And that's what we saw. We saw everyone else chew him apart for that, okay? So lots happening. I don't like to just sit here and I can tell stories all day long with everything I think, but at this point I'm even at a kind of we gotta watch it close, see what happens. It's a damn circus for sure. This is totally not normal, so that's where I can tell you something's going on. It's totally not normal. They are in the fight for their lives, folks. That's the only end result here. I mean, we're seeing people go down with the ship, and they're not going down quiet. It's basically what's happening. Their back's against the wall. What else do they got? Put their hands out and admit to guilt, or keep lying, screaming, and trying to switch it around on Trump with projections like they're so good at doing. That's what we typically see here. All right, I'm going to shut her down. Again, talk for another few minutes. You guys have a great Sunday evening. We'll see you back here tomorrow for the live show Monday morning.